am the Albuquerque Community Safety Training Administrator. I will be your Masters of Ceremonies this evening. We'll begin with the National Anthem, sung by our community responder, Helene Roybal. Please stand.
Technical difficulties, sorry.
Just use that one. Okay. First time using podium.
All right. Mic check, okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please stay standing as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Hi, everyone. So I was asked to provide a couple of quotes that really exemplify, who we are as ACS and what we do out in the community. So I have two quotes for all of you. Too often, we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. That's Leo Buscaglia, also known as Dr. Love. My second quote is from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
We would like to now recognize some dignitaries on the stage this evening. Chief Administrator Officer Lawrence Rael, ACS Director Mariela Ruiz Angel, Deputy Director D'Albert Hall, Deputy Director Jasmine Desiderio, Associate Deputy Director Delma Madrigal, Albuquerque Police Department Deputy Chief Josh Brown, Albuquerque Fire Rescue Deputy Chief Jimmy Malik, Division Manager Joshua Reeves. Unfortunately, Mayor Keller couldn't join us today. The holidays are a busy time. Today, we do have the honor of being joined by Chief Administrative Officer Lawrence Rael. He is one of ACS's greatest allies who has continuously advocated for us. He has empowered us to move forward in a bold and innovative way. We welcome Lawrence to say a few words on behalf of the administration.
Thanks, Lynn. First, let me say happy holidays to all of you. It's nice to see all of you. And I will tell you that this is an amazing accomplishment. There are so many things we can talk about that we can celebrate, but let me just start with this one because I think this is, quite frankly, the most important one. ACS was created in September of 2021, just a year ago, a little over a year ago. And the amazing impact that ACS as a department, thanks to the men and women that work for the department and their amazing leader, Mariella, has done. ACS has really made an impact on Albuquerque and really really across the nation. We are so excited about the work that they're doing, all the opportunities that have presented themselves over the course of the last year, not only getting the funding for the department, hiring the employees to do the work, but more importantly, the work that they're doing on the street every day. It's a credit to the professionalism of the staff, and for those of you who are joining the department and will soon be joining the department, really you are coming into an organization that really is at its infancy, but has so much potential. And I tell you this from many aspects of the work that I see on behalf of the city. But when you have now what I call the third leg of the stool, right? Fire, police, ACS. Part of the public safety, if you will, approach to working in our community, it really begins to really show the difference. Look, I get before the city council on many occasions for many issues associated with city government. One of the conversations that has been the most interesting has been the conversation, is ACS really as good as we think, as the administration thinks it is, as good as other folks across the country think it is? And so when you look at the numbers, and you look at the number of calls that ACS staff responds to on a daily basis, the number of interactions that you have with people in our community that, had it not been for ACS, would be an interaction with either AFR or with the police department. Importantly as well is that the amount of people that we have contact with, if you will, that ACS visits with, that means that our police officers have the opportunity to go out and do more other calls that are in their queue, if you will, so that we can have better response times and really provide a larger array of services for our community. This is really super important. And we heard this loud and clear. Mayor Keller heard this loud and clear over the last 4 years when we started talking about how do we approach these situations in our community that require professionals, that require people with behavioral health training, that understand how to de-escalate a situation and how to work with people and meet people where they are at the community, where they're in crisis or where they're having such difficult issues in their families or in their personal lives or what have you. And rather than having a police officer be the first responder, or potentially a fireman or fire person be the first responder, having someone, a clinician, someone who understands and can help move these folks into a different place and have a different outcome as a result of that interaction. That's what this is really about. And I will tell you that, in 1 year, we've seen such an amazing change. And look, the opportunity to move forward and hire additional staff and create a 24/7 response program with ACS is only going to make it better for this community, for the people who need this service, but also it's going to make it better for the country. Because the country really now is focused on what is Albuquerque doing differently? Why is Albuquerque seeing such great results out of this endeavor? And again, it's really a credit to the men and women in the department And for those of you, again, who are joining the department, be proud of the work that you are about to embark on, because it'll be a change, it'll be important for this community and for the people you work with every day. I do want to make a plug for Mariela and her leadership as the director of this department, and her staff, her leadership team. Look, it's hard to get a department going in just a short period of time. Not only do you have to deal with presenting it to the council and getting the appropriations and the budget that you need to make the department work, but look, you have to find an office. You have to hire the people. You've got to get them trained. You've got to find folks like Lynn who does the training, and the folks that are behind me. You've got to be able to create the politics with the police department, the fire department, with other city departments to ensure that we're all working together as a team. And what she has done is, Mayor likes to say, the one Albuquerque spirit, the one Albuquerque work product really shows in spades with her leadership and the leadership of her team. And let me just add by saying, look, even this building, look, it wasn't that long ago this building was not used for this very purpose. This is a building that the city purchased for another endeavor. But look, Mariela, again, and her team have made lemonade out of these lemons. This building now is a great facility for us to use. It's an interim facility. We will soon have a new headquarters for ACS. We are hoping to create a network of, if you will, offices throughout the city so that people can be assigned to different areas of the city. Because again, just like police and fire, we need to make sure that ACS has the resources to do that work. And then the last compliment I will pay to the department as a whole is this. When I have police officers on the street or firemen tell me, we need an ACS response to this issue, or we need to call ACS, that really is a credit that the department is really making a difference with the professionals who do the work every day. And that is really, in my opinion, the turning point for when ACS is now part of that public safety response team that really creates a holistic response to what's happening in our community on a day-by-day basis. So to the leadership team, I thank you for your great work and all of the work that you do to have gotten this department up on its feet and operating. But to all of you who are joining the department and those who are here already, thank you for your interest, thank you for your work, and you are really making a difference in this community. And with that, I wish you all a great holiday season. Hold your loved ones tight, and continue to do the great work that you're doing for this city. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Lawrence. I'd now like to introduce ACS Director Mariela Ruiz-Anjal. It has been her vision that has shaped what ACS looks like and has made us successful. She works tirelessly to ensure ACS lives up to its promise to the community. We welcome Mariela to the podium to say a few words.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're here. Like, it feels really strange to look across the sea of people, and I'm just so excited, and I'm a little teary-eyed. So I want to start with the quote. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. Anybody knows it's Pelé, for those soccer fans out there, greatest soccer player in history. This quote really resonated with me because it really applies to ACS in so many ways. The success at ACS was not accidental. It came with lots of planning and research and staying late nights to engage with community. Everyone that participated in the development and implementation of ACS sacrificed time. Time from their day jobs, like our police and fire, and time from their families. And so as we grow and get to the next level of success, it's the love for this work and for our community that will continue to drive us and will take us to the next successes. One of the first things I did when I took this job was look up the definition of first responder. It states in Wikipedia, a first responder is a person with specialized training who is among the first to arrive and provide assistance or incident resolution at the scene of an emergency. That is what you do now. At the time, I didn't know that ACS would be this. But here we are, 2 years later, and we can safely say that Wikipedia is going to need to update their definition, because it's going to have to add now police and fire and paramedics and mental and behavioral health professionals like you. Just like police and officers, firefighters, 911 dispatchers, and paramedics, ACS first responders are dedicating their life to make sure that when someone's in need, they can help. We are proud to now be considered part of the first responder family. Like police officers, to all first responders, here today, day in and day out, you provide, and for those that are new, you will provide essential services to our neighborhoods, our community, to help us stay safe. You will have good days, you will have bad days. You will have days that will make you cry, and days that will change your life forever. But know that you are so appreciated, more than you ever know, even when it doesn't feel that way. The community loves you. Police and fire are now, we have a family to be a part of. Thank you for serving. Thank you for sacrificing and for doing the job that puts others first. I want to also give a few shout outs and thanks to people who are here. One, to our mayor, Lawrence, our administration. The courage that you had to create something so new, so bold, maybe has changed the world, not just the nation. Thank you for your continuous support, for trusting in me and my leadership and my staff. I also want to thank city councilors, some who may be here later on or might be here. If they are, thank you for coming. A lot of them have taken a lot of great interest in our work. They get in cars for ride-alongs. They invite us to speak at neighborhood events, and really they trust us many times by sending us calls for service in their needed areas. I also want to give a big thanks to fire, police, Metro Security, 911, and all the other first responder departments that we have leaned on for training, resources, policy, and insight. Thank you for guiding the way and having our back on the streets. To our community, you were loud in your request for something new, something different. Thank you for your advocacy and your fight. You help us stay balanced and grounded. Please continue to challenge us, as it will only make us better at the end of the day. And lastly, and most importantly, thank you to the families of the ACS family. This work is difficult and unpredictable. Thank you all for being patient and loving and supportive and strong for those that are working in this line of work. Our responders can't do this work without you. I appreciate you. I'm so excited to see so many faces. I look forward to meeting so many of you out in the field. Welcome, new responders. We're so excited to have you as part of this family.
Thank you, Mariella. Now we welcome to the stage our Division Manager, Joshua Reeves, to talk about our different programs and the growth we've seen over the last 2 years.
Just a small height difference. Anyway, a little insight into my life. Every day I have to follow that up with a bunch of nerdy details. Every day of my life. Anyway, thank you all for being here. The reason I want to talk with you today is because I think people sometimes look at ACS and we do want people to think of us as a whole, as a single department, as a single team. But I think we owe it to each one of our responders to shout out the unique responsibilities, perspectives, and backgrounds they bring to first response. So I do want to help make sure everyone in the community does have a better understanding of each of the programs within our department. There are 6 of them, to many people's surprise. That being said, I want to reflect on how we've grown and where we've come from. I've been here from the beginning with Mariella, And I see many faces here of people who helped us brainstorm. What does this department even look like? There's so many details, as Lawrence has talked about. The administration, the red tape, the background, the education experience. What does all that look like? And it really does feel like yesterday to me when all of these responders, all these names, all these positions, the department itself was just a bunch of sticky notes on a whiteboard. And here we are, less than 2 years later. We have formalities, we have a logo, we have cars, we have jackets, we have ceremonies. We've come such a long way in 2 years. And on behalf of our leadership team, I do want to thank our responders for giving us grace as a leadership team to grow, to make mistakes, to learn, so that we can provide the best possible response to our community. That being said, I want to go through each one of our programs so that everyone understands the unique perspective they bring. In our Field Response Bureau, we do have our mobile crisis team clinicians. They may be small, but they were actually our first program. They're co-responders with police officers, independently licensed clinicians. They're the ones tackling the highest acuity behavioral health issues. When you think of suicides in progress, people with acute psychosis disorders, they're the ones that are responding with specially trained officers to those crises. And we rely on them heavily in the worst scenarios. So we want to thank them. Our behavioral health responders. We love our behavioral health responders. Sometimes they give me a lot of grief because they've been here from the beginning, giving me so much feedback, but never too much feedback. Our behavioral health responders come from a variety of backgrounds, and they're really what make us unique. When we look at other programs around the country, sometimes their scope of work is very limited. We did not require that everyone be a licensed clinician. We said various types of experience matter. Lived experience matters. Working in hospitals matters. Working in schools matter. All of these backgrounds give them the perspective and the ability to respond empathetically and compassionately to those in crisis. I do want to thank all of our behavioral health responders, especially the original 5 that were there at the beginning when all we had was a fold-up table and 5 office chairs. They were there to help us figure it out. Our community responders, they are also unique. Because one of the goals here is not only to respond more empathetically to behavioral health issues, but it's to relieve police and fire of all of the calls for service that they don't need to go to. Not every emergency requires law enforcement or paramedics. So our community responders are able to tackle those non-criminal, non-medical calls that also don't necessarily need that level of behavioral health experience. They're able to take our wellness checks. They're able to go check on bus stops, proactively see what are the needs in the community in the streets. Our street outreach responders, the work they do is very intense, it's a work of emotional love. They respond to encampments, dealing with folks who are unsheltered, making sure that people have a choice and an option to get help before any type of enforcement is needed. That is the unique perspective we're able to bring. Try offering help before we have to give the heavy hand. We are lucky enough to now say we have a Special Operations Bureau. Delma will talk about that more later. I do want to shout out our Community-Oriented Response and Assistance, or CORA, responders. I think sometimes we do properly focus on our emergency 911 response, but our CORA responders are able to provide an extra level of care that officers or other people might not have the time to do. After instances like tragedies, high-profile murders, hate crimes in the community, our CORA responders are the ones who can take the time to help community heal, deal with these events, care and love with families so that they can move on from these events. And lastly, our Violence Intervention Program, our newest addition to the team. We did absorb VIP this year. What we love about VIP is their lived experience. They're the perfect example of what we are trying to convey, that with empathy and care, people can turn their lives around. They can exit cycles of violence. The entire purpose of their program is to collaborate with the police departments, identify folks who are at highest risk of gun violence, and offer them a credible and real offer to exit that life. I'm gonna shout out Angel, he'll get a shout out later. But he was the original person who showed and set an example. You can exit that life and we can make our streets safer. I named all those programs. I think people sometimes say, oh, ACS, and they don't necessarily recognize just how big we are compared to a lot of other programs around the nation. We are a full-fledged department, and we are able to bring so much unique experience, backgrounds, and perspective to public safety that we really do get to be a comprehensive and robust solution to the problems that police and fire should never have been asked to answer. So I thank you all for your patience, giving us grace, and growing with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Today, we are here to formally recognize the 13 responders graduating from the Academy and honor the 43 responders who have been serving our community. Going forward, you will have a hand in crafting the culture of this department. As Mary Robinson once said, a culture is not an abstract thing. It is a living, evolving process. The aim is to push beyond standard setting and asserting human rights to make those standards a living reality for people everywhere. You should all be proud of what you have accomplished. Personally, yet remember, we stand as one, a whole team serving the residents of Albuquerque. We will now present our responders for certificates of completion from the Academy. Please hold your applause to the end.
All right. Again, this height difference, what are we going to do? Okay. First, we're going to begin with our supervisors. These are individuals who have been with us since the beginning. They are our trusted messengers and leaders in our department. Walter Adams. Chris Blystone. John Dodd. Angel Garcia. Alex Paz. Slide it over. Lee White. And Jim Youngblood. All right. Now we will acknowledge the graduating class of the ACS Academy. They have demonstrated a commitment to our mission, and we are excited to see how they will contribute to our community. Nevada Cavallo Sanchez. Okay. Jacob Christensen. Ooh, that's not Sunita Garul. Sunita Garul. Carlos Hernandez. Lin Hong. Vanessa Jaramillo. Alex Xander Kent. It's not Israel. Where's Izzy? Israel Izzy Cisneros. Just give it to him. Matt Smith. Joseph Pollock. We'll swap later. Mark Richardson. Helene Roybal. Lynn. What's her name? Kay. What's her name? Kay Vargas. Okay. Now, lastly, we'd like to recognize our current ACS responders. We did not have this ceremony before. These are individuals who took a risk in joining a department that was new and unknown, helping shape what ACS response looks like on the streets. Roxy Balbuena. Come on. Brittany Barreras. Ernest Becerra. Jenny Carrion. Alexis Chavez. Felicia Chavez. Stephen Chavez. Isaiah Curtis. Amanda Ellis. Kayla Francisco. Andrew Gee. Love the enthusiasm. Don Green. Colin Kelly. Jillian Kelly. Crystal Little. Selena Lopez. Lene Lovato. Elaine Maestas. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Can't remember his name. What's his name? Sean Martin. Couldn't remember his last name. Sorry. Cherie Miera. Quinn Mulhern. Deidre Otero. Michael Parra. Renee Monteverde. Richard Romero. Daniel Sanchez Torres. Tanya Sandoval. Denise Thomas. Lynette Valdez. Deborah Vigil. And Rosie Youngblood. All right, one last thanks to our ACS responders, new and old.
I apologize if you got a little mix-up on the diplomas. And if you didn't get your card, we'll get those at the end, okay? As we move forward, we also want to acknowledge ACS responders and staff that have gone above and beyond for the city of Albuquerque. Saying a few words and presenting these awards are the deputy directors of our 3 bureaus. We begin with Deputy Director of Field Response, D'Albert Hall, and his supervisors.
Good evening, everyone. So I wrote this long speech, this long thank you, but I feel like everything's already been said. So I just want to say I am truly blessed to work with such great, amazing people. Like, we really have grown to become a family. Like, we know so much about each other, and it makes work not so stressful. So I want to say thank you guys for all of your support, your hard work, and your dedication. All right. So I would like to now acknowledge John Dodd. John's dedication and contribution to our department. Oh, thank you. So John was one of the very first MCT clinicians. He has now recently been promoted to a supervisor. John, to me, is like the definition of positive energy. He's like one of those people, whenever you're around him, you just kind of feel better. You know, it's kind of hard to be like upset or sad around John, and John always has like that smile. He just has a way just to make you feel better. He is truly an amazing person to know and to work aside. So I want to say thank you, John.
Hello, everyone. The next person that was nominated and selected is known as Miss Congeniality to many. She's someone that has she's a true definition of going above and beyond. She volunteers for every project that there is, heads a lot of these projects. And the one thing is, I was fortunate enough to be a partner with her for 6 months. That was cut short. But yeah. But she was also instrumental in creating our triage position as it is today. She took the sacrifice of getting out of the field, getting up in dispatch, and really shaping the response that we give now. So, Jenny Carrion.
Well, I'm not sure what I can say about this next person that hasn't already been said. She and I go way back. I remember, there was a couple of times I would call her. She was with a different department. I was with the state, and she was always Johnny on the spot with anything that I needed. For any community member, any family, she's always happy. She's always laughing, dancing around, sometimes to her own beat. But, she's willing to go above and beyond. There's been times everybody has called her, or somebody's called her at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she answers her phone. So, Selena, I want to recognize you today.
So Jim and I would like to recognize this next person who has been with us from the beginning. Actually, he was with ACS before we were, as far as his interest in planning. And he was also Jim's first partner.
Indeed, this responder we'd like to honor because he has demonstrated exemplary service both to the Community Safety Department and exemplary service to the city of Albuquerque, both through his undying passion for this kind of work, but also through his ongoing partnerships and building of relationships that form the bridge that we are founded on with community partners. We'd like to honor our friend and beloved colleague, Isaiah Curtis.
So these two next responders are literally the epitome of what you want in a responder. They're full of compassion, they're full of love, they're full of not giving up on their own skill set. They're constantly expanding and learning and wanting to learn more. And when they know that they can't do something, they work even harder to do it. So it's my honor, it's my privilege to bring over here Ernest and Kayla. Come on.
Next, Associate Deputy Director of Special Operations, Delma Madrigal.
Doesn't that sound really cool? Special Operations Bureau. Yeah. You know, Angel's really happy about it. The first time he heard it, he was like, yeah, that's what we're going to be, right? So super cool. So with the Special Operations Bureau, there are several programs. Josh explained a little bit about CORA. CORA's been around the longest, right? And then we also brought in VIP, right? And that's been around for a bit. But our newest program is a school-based violence intervention program. So it's very much like VIP, but a little bit different. So this actually is our newest program. We've been at West Mesa High School for about 7 or 8 weeks. This newest program blends some of the elements of VIP with additional support for students and their families. So our pilot is in partnership with West Mesa High School, as I mentioned. I'm going to tell you just a little bit more. You know, there's going to be a lot more details coming soon, but I want you guys to be aware of this program. The pilot provides for having more trusted adults on campus, such as a coordinator and case managers that can provide coaching support, mentoring, and case management plan follow-up, connection and healing through a teaching artist program, and support for families via resources available in the community. So all the programs under the special, our bureau, are all great programs that provide resources and support during times when it's needed most. Our award today goes out to our school-based VIP program coordinator. It goes out to Mike Bada, but let me say a little bit about why. Again, Mike Bada and I started about the same time at the beginning of November. And boy, they've heard me say this in leadership, talk about baptism by fire. Yeah, Mike and I have certainly been stepping into that. What's most amazing about Mike has been the communication and the trust he has built with the administrators at West Mesa High School, but then also making sure to connect back into our team for other resources, making sure to ask for what next steps, what do I do next. His openness and his willingness to take all of the experience that he has, 16 years at YDI with gang intervention, bringing that experience in, but also being open to how do we develop something new, something that looks great at West Mesa High School, and then looking forward to the future for how do we do this in other schools is part of what our vision is. So thank you, Mike, for being resilient, for providing us with grace and providing me with grace for as we get this the program off the ground. So thank you, Mike.
Next, we have Deputy Director of Administration, Jasmine Desiderio.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for being here. I would like to take a moment to thank our administrative staff. These staff members are often the unsung heroes behind the scenes of the field response operations. They do everything from writing policy, compiling data, and providing strategic support to make our department one of the most transparent in the city. Today, we celebrate the success of our department as since launching in 2021. This success would not be possible without the contribution and commitment from the administrative team. The work you've done is invaluable to our department. I am amazed by the effort you put in and the sacrifices you make. Having hardworking and reliable staff is the cornerstone of any business, and ACS is fortunate to have some of the best employees. I am honored to work with such an amazing team. I want to take this opportunity to recognize a key contributor in our success, Connor Woods. I am inspired by his enthusiasm, positive attitude, and proud of his outstanding performance as our Public Information Officer. Connor? And lastly, I just want to put it out there. Congratulations to everyone, all ACS employees, all responders, the admin team, the Special Ops Bureau. Congratulations on a job well done, and thank you for helping ACS achieve our mission.
Thank you, everyone. Lastly, I have one more award to hand out to a member of the new Academy class. This individual has stepped up, has let me know when things are happening, when there needs to be a change. So I want to present the Team Leader Award for the Academy class for ACS for December to Kay Vargas. Now we would like to take a few minutes to watch a video reflecting on how our success over the past few years has developed.
Able to go out and meet with people, meet them where they're at.
The one thing that I'm most proud of this year is how many people we were able to help. We helped a lot of our victims get the rent paid. That way it's one less thing they have to worry about as they recover from their injuries.
What I'm most proud about is the relationship that we built with other departments. Officers will come up to us, ask us what we see, what we think, what they need from us. Fire, they'll ask us, they respect our opinions more and stuff like that. It's more of colleagues now.
One thing that stands out to me over the last year is the way our team has been built. We've lost some and we've gained some. And the individuals that I work with, most of them have lived experience, some of them never don't. But I think all together we bring all of our gifts and talents and we mesh so like a well-oiled machine.
One of the things I love most about ACS and the whole department is all the lived experience and the experience that people bring in with their education and their previous jobs. It really, the way that this department has been able to mesh us all together to serve the community is, I think, a really amazing thing.
Thank you to everybody who shows up daily, committed, with their hearts in the right place. The impact that you guys have, I don't think any of us will ever truly know. And so for that, I'm appreciative, and I think I can speak for all of ACS whenever I say thank you.
We're pioneers in this, and we're one of the first in the nation to stand over the department to do something like that. So just being a part of that journey, part of building stuff that might take off throughout the nation, that goal is really sick.
It's a really good feeling to go home at the end of the day and know that you were able to help somebody, whether it's with a blanket or a pair of shoes or get them a meal that they otherwise would not have been able to obtain on their own.
We understand what it takes, and we understand that people change at their own pace, but we're out there trying to make it happen one life at a time.
At this time, this concludes our program for today. One last round of applause for our responders.